me again. Not only has my mother falsely defamed my character, right? Which, like I said before, ended a lot of my relationships. And by relationships, I mean friendships. Because I don't just date anyone just to date like most people, like a lot of people do. But that's another topic. Because she never thought this would catch up with her, she didn't really see a problem to call her own son, falsely call her own son a drug addict or a crazy person, right? But like I told you guys, right? There's a lot of there's been a lot of abuse, a lot of harassment, a lot of spying, a lot of stalking, a lot of intimidation tactics that both my mother Marisol and her husband like to use. But you can't fool someone like me with those with that energy, right? But like I said before, like I've taken my own advice when I had to get away from everyone in LA because people were not being truthful. People were just silent, not telling me what was going on. And I took my advice then. Now I'm taking my own advice, finding out, everything about my family, including that my mother was the drama starter, right? With the fake power of attorney and fake medical documents and fake court documents, right? But I've made it, my duty to make sure that I document everything that's been going on with the police. And something that she still has not learned is the effects of lying about someone. And she uses that tactic, right? She uses that manipulation tactic with the police, right? Because I've made it my duty to document everything. Anytime they would harass me, anytime I felt abused, right? Anytime they would barge into my room with my room door locked, right? Every time they would start grabbing my things and telling me to get out, I've made sure to call the police. Because when people cross my boundary, right? Now it's not just anything, right? Now you're crossing my boundary, and now I feel unsafe where I'm supposed to feel safe. So I've made it my part to do what I have to do and reach out to resources around me. And that's what everyone should do. Each time the cops would come, she would just manipulate them with her watery fake crocodile tear eyes, right? She would also manipulate them, telling them the same thing she would tell all of my friends in LA, that I was crazy, that I was a drug addict. And come on, the police does not know me. Like I said before, I've been living in California since I was 16, for longer than 10 years. What is it, like? I'm 29, so like 14 years. And I think that reached like a certain level that it was never supposed to reach, right? To the point where this police officer, an older deputy, asked me if I've ever wanted to hurt myself or hurt anyone else, and that's a definite no. Like I've never wanted to kill myself or hurt myself or kill anyone or hurt anyone, right? I believe everyone's life is valuable. That's what I speak about. That you know. And I understand why he would ask me that. Not only because my mother probably just like brainwashed him, telling him that I was crazy, that I was a drug addict, that I was this, that I was that, but also because of everything that I've said that they were doing, all of the criminal activity that has been going on in the home, right? And I understand how serious those things are, but also I never say anything just to say it. We have proof here now on YouTube, right? Tell me why when the cop comes back from speaking to her and he asks me that and I answer no. The cop tells me that my thinking patterns are wrong. So I look at him. I look at him, right? After all of the inner work that I've done, after sharing all of the inner work with others, in public, online, it took me a moment. Like, did he just tell me that? And I look at him right in the eyes and I'm like, you are no one to tell me that my thinking patterns are wrong, when you probably haven't even closed your eyes for 5 minutes in your life to meditate, to reflect. Because come on, think about how many people that you know meditate. Exactly. And you are a police officer, so you should be knowledgeable about law, but you're not a psychiatrist for you to be telling me that my thinking patterns are wrong, especially when you don't live in that house, especially when you have never even lived the life that I live and you don't even know the people that I've lived with, for you to tell me that. And I think that kind of killed his ego a little bit, made him feel less of a man because I told him that. But come on, no, not everyone. Some people accept the truth and they're willing to change. But some people just hear the truth and it's like, no way. Did you just kill my ego? Yes, I did, right? Because you know nothing about mental health for you to be telling someone who is worried about their own safety that their thinking patterns are wrong. When there's evidence, there's proof why I would feel unsafe in this environment. So the police officer, I could see the rage in his eyes. And mind you, right, I'm never disrespectful. Sometimes my words are stern and clear. I don't have anything to hide. Like, if you don't want to hear the truth, then don't ask for it, or don't say a comment that's gonna allow for me to reply, and you may not like that reply, even though I still will never be disrespectful. So the police handcuffs me, right, and tells me that I'm being Baker acted. Mind you, I've never heard that word before. So I'm like, what? Where am I going? He's like handcuffing me. And all I'm thinking is like, okay, so he tells me it's like a mental health facility. So I just, things just start running through my mind. I'm like, I don't want anyone to like inject anything in me. Come on, like I am made from God. Like I'm so healthy. Like I don't. So he tells me that no one's gonna inject me, blah blah. But still handcuffs me and still puts me in the back of his car. And mind you, I've never committed any crimes, never. He takes me to this location, then he transfers me from his police car to this white, discreet van that looked like a cell. And then that van transports me to this mental health facility, which looked like prison for crazy people. So when I get there, I'm like, oh, so I get there last Friday, right? And I'm like, oh my gosh, um like this. I was literally taken out of my environment, out of nature. And I get there, and it's like a prison, but for mental health. And I get there, and they tell me that I can't leave that day, that I have to stay there up to 72 hours, 3 days. My dog was left at home. And I told the police to tell my mother not to go into my room. And I call someone, right, to have them check up on my doggy, Lucas. You guys know him. I love him so much. So I spend there the night, right? It's like, it looks like a prison, literally. And I find out what the Baker Act is. And the Baker Act is if a police officer feels that a person is a danger to society or to themselves. I've never shown any proofs that I'm a menace to society or a menace to myself. Instead, I motivate people. I try and share my light with people. And if you want to talk about menace to society, you should be checking up on the details that I've been giving you about what has been going on at home. But you know what? I get there. I find out what the Baker Act is. And I'm like, okay. I use what I've learned to not let that situation change my vibe, change my energy. Instead, I'm like, oh, okay. If I'm going to be here, then I want to see what it's like. I start like talking to people. I make friends. But still, that doesn't take away from the fact that I was falsely Baker acted just because I killed the police officer's ego. First off, if you're a law official, you should always make just decisions, fair decisions, not decisions based on your ego, not decisions based on whatever distorted mentality you have. So I have to stay there. I stayed there the whole day Friday, and then they tell me that I can leave when a psychiatrist sees me. And that day, even though it was 12 noon, the psychiatrist had just left, so they wouldn't be back in the facility until the next morning. So I wait till the next morning, and thank God that I see my actual psychiatrist from the regular place that I go. And I'm like, what? Like, this meant to be. So he sees me and he's like, Ray, what are you doing here? And I explain to him the whole story. And he's like, look, I can, like, I know you, like, you don't have anything. I can get you out, but I can't get you out today. This is the next day from when that happened, because by law they don't let me. So the most I can do for you is I can get you out by tomorrow. So I'm like, ugh, okay. So I call someone else again to take care of my doggy, or not take care of him, just leave him there, but like to bring him food and water, because I don't trust my mother, I don't trust my stepfather at all, right? We all know why. So then Sunday comes, and he has to do like a little evaluation, and deems me competent one, which means that there's nothing wrong with me. Not that there's anything to prove to anyone. He just has to write that, you know. And thank God that I had actually explained to my psychiatrist what had been going on with my mother before all this happened. So like a month prior, I had explained to him everything that was going on. So he already kind of knew the story. So I finally get out. I have to take a bus back home, blah, 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 blah. But I was so proud of myself for how I handled that situation and the emotional stability that I had while seeing myself. I'm such a free-spirited person. While seeing myself locked away because of my mother's manipulative character defamation tactics, which she used on that police officer, which altered whatever mentality he already had. And that police officer will get also what he deserves, but we're not going to speak about that right now. And what I mean by gets what he deserves, I mean lawfully, right? Because we don't do anything that's illegal. But that just comes to show you, right, the extent that people's words, people's false allegations about someone else can do. In this case, right, all of her lies about my character that she's used on not only the police officer, but on everyone else on my life. Right? And that is also a crime. It is a crime to falsely Baker Act someone, especially when there has never been any signs that I've been a menace to society or that I've wanted to hurt or kill myself or hurt or kill anyone else. That's never been me. And people that know me would know that, even if they don't like me. And that also shows the maliciousness, the evilness of my mother, Marisol. And when I get back home, first thing that I do, because I leave my laptop, right? Come on, I feel unsafe at home. So I have to leave my laptop every time that I walk out, open, with the photo booth app on to record in case anyone comes in, tries to like put things in the room or tries to, no, I'm not having that. So I'd rather record it. And thankfully, I had it recording prior to me being falsely Baker acted. And remember when I told you guys at the beginning of the video that I had told the cops to tell my mother to not go in the room, not only because I don't trust her, but because I have personal things here, right? I have my nudes, I have text messages, I have my journals. Come on. And the first thing I see, right, I look back on the video from that day, and I see my mother walking into the room where she has been told that she cannot go, not only by the police, but by court as well, right? Because they can't kick me out. So she's walking, she like opens the door very sneakily, right? Looks around, continues to walk all the way to my computer. She goes to my computer and tries to like figure out how to turn off the camera. And why would you want to turn off someone's camera? Because you're hiding something. because you want to check my things out when you have no right to do any of that. But come on, she has the motives, and they are noticeable. So she goes all the way to the computer, right? And you could see her trying to figure out how to turn it off, and she turns it off. That was just like the pudding on the cake. Did I say that right? That was just the cake on the pudding. Whatever. Here's the video.